Hey everybody, how's it going? Well, it's Wednesday night, and I'm sad to say I didn't have much time on Monday to do any content. I was busy. The old 40 Dodge got hired for some film work over the weekend into Monday, so I was busy doing that, and that required some 14-hour days and very early mornings. So by the time we wrapped on Monday, it was in the early afternoon, just before lunch actually. So I just kind of took the opportunity to get the car home before traffic got too bad because I was way on the west side of things. I was way out there in San Pedro, which is at the very end of the 110 freeway. Anyway, so I just, said my goodbyes and thanked everybody for a wonderful job. It was great. Had a lot of fun with some buddies of mine that were also there on set for this production. Not going to say much about it. It covers several periods, so it was, appropriate that my car was in it at one point. It was a later scene, early 50s scene. So they had a hodgepodge of late 30s through 40s and early 50s cars. But anyways, so yeah, I got home and I was wiped. I just unpacked and got everything kind of put away and just took it easy. A lot of early mornings and long hours, so I was pretty taxed. Anyway, something came on Monday. I bought a lantern from Ted Melanie, and he posted this in the Two Load Lantern group, and I've wanted one of these for a while. That's a bit of a project, but I've always liked this style. Now, it's funny because I've made many comments about the top lift design of the early 1910s. You know the style, where you lift the lever up and it makes the chimney go up and then you tilt the globe back, like that ham new style that I have. Well, anyways, I got one made by Defiance, or maybe it's an Embry, but anyways, I think it's Defiance. Defiance made... Okay, does it say Defiance on it? I don't think it says. I think it's a jobber, but yeah, I think it is a Defiance made number 2 best ever. But it's a top lift design. As you can see, it looks kind of like a little bit of a project, but it has great patina, it has some nice surface rust, and that's fine. I'm down with that. I am totally down with that, and it has a great look about it as is. But I leak tested it, and it does have a few little pinholes. It's not a big deal. The inside of the fan was actually really clean. It had a lot of tin inside, so I'm like, oh, this probably doesn't leak at all. It's probably just fine. It leaks, but it must have been where some fuel gathered and a wick was there and it got stuck to it and probably caused some corrosion, and then it, whatever. But not a big deal. I need to go over it anyways. I was going to see if I could burn it tonight, and that wasn't going to happen, but that's fine. I have plenty of lanterns to burn, not a big deal. So I will take my time on this one. I'm going to just clean out the fount, fill, patch the holes. I'm going to use Seal All in this one. It's not too bad. I've used Pour 15 on 2 of my last major fount projects, and it works great. But since this has a lot of original tin inside, I don't want to cover that up with Pour 15. I know that's like, oh, who's going to look inside? Who's going to care? I care. I will see inside, and it helps preserve, the originality of the lantern. It's just, my OCD. I have touches of OCD once in a while. So I'm like, well, I'm going to see the inside of the fount. I would like to still see that shiny tin. It's pretty. And I have Seal All, which works great, by the way. It's not a bad product. So as long as I get the fount cleaned out just right, I'll pour it in and kind of tip it to one side where the holes are, and then you won't even see that. Which it dries clear. It's kind of a silicone-like liquid, and it dries very hard. But I like Seal All. I used to have a whole new tube of it, and it'll be just fine. But anyways, this thing will clean up good. I'm going to go over it very lightly, nothing too crazy. And I'm going to try and push out the top of the crown here. As you can see, it's pushed in a bit. Looks kind of like a fallen cake. Anyways, yeah, it's a cake that never rose. So, yeah, I'm going to try and push that out very softly and well, just coax it back up a little bit because it should have a little bit of a bend to it. Not that much. Someone totally dropped it. And so there you go. There you go. Defiance made top lift. I've always kind of liked that style. You move that lever to the side and it raises up the chimney, and then you do your lighting. But anyway, my Ham's new style is a neat piece, and then now I have a Defiance version, so that's cool. But something else came today. Yeah, something came today. Now, I didn't say much about this. I know a good number of my subscribers are aware of this lantern, but I didn't make any mentions in my previous video. I actually made a comment to Ken about a lantern. Now, this was purchased after I bought that CT ham that never showed up. Now, update on that, I never did receive the lantern. It's been almost 2 weeks now since it didn't show up. And I got my money back. So I contacted eBay and says, yeah, we haven't heard from the seller either. We can't get a hold of them. So we're going to give your money back. So they did. So I don't know what happened to the seller. I noticed that they had a very low eBay score. So that would indicate to me that they really didn't want to let it go for the price that it sold for. And yeah, that's just, that's lousy. It's chicken. It's just stupid. But, if that's the case, so be it. I didn't come out empty-handed. I got my money back. But yeah, I hope they didn't, come to some horrible end themselves and weren't able to ship the lantern. I seriously think that they were novice and they didn't really want to let it go for what it sold, because they see a lot of high-priced hams online because people are asking insane, stupid money for a lot of this stuff. A lot of common CT hams have over $100 price tags on eBay, and they sit there forever. Yeah. If you want to go into selling lanterns, eBay sellers, you might want to look at the completed listing so you know what they're actually going for, because when you list something that just sits there for more than $100 for a very common lantern, you're wasting your time and you're just making eBay richer. Yeah, that's how it works. Anyways, enough of that. I'm not going to be dwelling on the things that didn't happen. So what I bought, I had a little extra money in my account, and I felt a little rich at the moment, and I had to go in for this because I, being a railroad buff, yeah, most people don't really know this because I collect tubular lanterns. They're like, well, if you like trains, why don't you buy railroad lanterns? Well, one of two things. I actually like the design of tubular hot or cold blast better than the designs of most railroad lanterns. Most railroad lanterns are dead flame, except for the Dietz Vesta, which is a cold blast design. It's really funny because I do love steam locomotives. I love a lot of railroad equipment from the era, from the 1900s through the 1940s and 50s. But my real passion when it comes to lanterns is the tubular stuff. Of course, I do have a Southern Pacific marked Acme Inspector, which I love. And which reminds me, it actually could use some Pour 15. That thing still wants to leak. I tried to seal it a couple times. It still wants to sweat fuel. And yeah, I'll get that figured out. But anyways, I do have another railroad lantern. And but it was a gift by a friend. But yeah, as some of you may know, I am a Santa Fe Railroad guy. Since I have that sign back there. I grew up just north of the Santa Fe, what was it, 2nd District, and it's special to me because I remember seeing a lot of the Santa Fe equipment come through here in the 1980s, and the blue and yellow scheme and all that, and yeah, and I've, of course, as a child I had a Super Chief HO locomotive and all that. So yeah, the Santa Fe has always been one of my favorite roads of the past, and so I felt, well, 3751 is my favorite steam locomotive that's restored, and that lives locally down in Los Angeles there. And I've had very special moments around that engine when it was running. So I thought, I need a Santa Fe lantern. I need one. So I found this wonderful Adlake Santa Fe bell bottom on eBay. And as you can see, it has the cast globe with the Santa Fe Herald. And it's just so neat. Let me see if I can get you a better... Yeah, let's see. That does not want to focus for whatever reason. Let me see if I can get that to focus here. There you go. Now you can see it a little better. Yeah, pretty cool. Santa Fe Herald. I like that. The bell-bottom Adlakes are really neat lanterns. Let me focus myself back in. There we go. All right. So they're really cool. They're very collectible. Someone actually cleaned this a little bit, and I'm going to leave it. I like the patina on the top. You can see how it has this nice aged patina to it. I wish they would have left the entire thing like that, because that looks really good. That's a nice patina. But they didn't do that. They cleaned it up with some steel wool and whatever. But the price was actually decent. It wasn't too much. I've seen these go for a lot of money. Average $350, maybe more. It was marked at I'll just say they wanted $250 for it, and I made an offer, and they accepted my offer, and I got off a little easier than most. But there is a subtle, small little 1.5 inch defect in the glass. Now it looks like a crack, but I'm not sure, because it doesn't go from the bottom of the globe to the very top like most cracks. It's right in the middle, near the seam of the globe right here, and it looks like a crack, but it's smooth to the touch. It has no ridges like a crack would. But anyways, it has a really nice strong casting. It's beautiful. It's really nice, and the imperfection is near the seam, so you don't really see it. But it's a neat piece. I'm really happy to have it. And it has a field type of adapted modification to the bail. And one of the guys on the group noticed that and told me about it, and I said, oh, that's really neat. So it's it's been modified, but by the railroad or someone that worked on the railroad. So this is, I think, a brakeman lantern. I'm kind of ignorant when it comes to railroad lanterns and their functions or their particular job. But yeah, it's funny because I do love, old railroad stuff, and but I'm mostly a tubular lantern guy. So I'm still kind of learning more about the railroad lanterns. But it is a dead flame. I was trying to clean up the inside of the fount of this lantern earlier tonight, and I noticed that it does have a very subtle and slow leak inside, and it was really dirty. So I'm going to clean out the fount, which won't take much, and then I'll probably pour 15 in there and seal it all up really well, and then it should be ready to burn it. And I won't burn it for very much because of the anomaly in the globe. I don't want it to grow. If it is a crack, I don't want it to expand and get unhappy. But yeah, because the globe itself in ideal shape is at least $150 globe, so they're not easy to replace. But I think it's a great piece. It's a great addition. It has wear, it shows use, and it has that wonderful herald globe that is just so cool. So yeah, I am really happy about this one, and it's been a long time coming. I've been wanting one for actually a while now, and those nice stamped or cast embossed globes are really great. They're definitely very attractive. Now they did make them in other colors. Naturally, Santa Fe had a list of colors that they offered these in, or Adlake offered them in for Santa Fe, and they ordered them in many different colors. Amber, of course, ruby red or green or signal green, I guess. And then you would say the cobalt blue. Now the blue is definitely the rarest. It's the hardest to find, and definitely the most expensive, because that a cobalt blue globe with this lantern and with the herald would just be ridiculous. I mean, it would be very pretty and very desirable. I wouldn't mind an amber one, at least. An amber one would be really neat, or a ruby. But the clear is just perfectly acceptable. I am totally happy to have it. Well, friends, we're getting on. It's late, and I am going to go to bed. But I wanted to make a little content for everybody, since I was unable to on Monday. So, with the future projects out here on the bench, to you guys, we will be making up some new content, hopefully this weekend, with some results in the restoration department, and hopefully we'll get around to some things to get them burning again sooner than later. All right, have a great evening, great day, have a happy Thursday, and we'll see you guys all again very soon. All right, good night.